So I think with each and every of the guna, you're getting more into the understanding of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what all these funny terms really mean, and how you can just then categorize basically the whole universe within these 20 gunas. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. So you are getting a very nice foundation. So the next couple is called Manda and Tikshna. When we talk about Agni, we often use the terms Manda Agni or Tiksha Agni. So the Manda means it is slow, it is not motivated. And the Tikshna, it is piercing, it is kind of cutting, it is sharp. So when the Manda Agni is spoken about, then we talk about an Agni that is not really doing it. It is very, very slow. The Tiksha Agni, it's an Agni, it's a fire of the digestion that is far too fast. A Tiksha Agni person is a person who eats something and after the food immediately experiences that they have to go to the toilet. It's very common. With Manda Agni, it's just like, if I eat a bit more, then maybe it moves down, but it's not really doing that. And even after some hours of digestion, you still experience some kind of a fullness and kind of dreading it that you're going to have the next meal. So the Manda Agni belongs to the Mahabhutas of Jala and Prithvi, means of water and earth, and it's clearly increasing the kapha. So it is calming, it is satisfying, and it is actually a harmonious onset of all bodily functions. So what we just considered as something that is not pleasant is actually something that is just getting you away in your modern lifestyle from being too fast, being everywhere at the same time, being constantly online. It is something that you sit with a friend by the fire and you both made time. That would be a Manda treatment. Yeah. It is something that we also prescribe to the patient. It is just sitting silently. Meditation would be a Manda. Yeah. When we give a massage in Manda to pacify somebody, it is a very slow massage. You know, people are kept nicely. It is very slow. All the functions are slowing down. So with the Tikshna, then we have the opposite. This is clearly Tejas, that is clearly fire, this clearly Pitta. And it's very important because the Tikshna quality is something that we also need if there's too much Manda, too much stabilizing, too much slowing down. Then in the nutrition to counteract, for instance, nervousness, you know, people start eating when they're nervous. And then, you know, they get obese because they wanted to slow down here, but they're slowing it down there. So this is not how it should be. Okay. So yeah, we need the Tikshna to just scrape out a residue in the arteries, for instance, that might cause a heart attack or might cause a lung emboli, right? So anywhere where there is clotting, we need the quality of Tikshna and not the quality of Manda, because Manda probably has caused that kind of congestion. Yeah. So again, we need something that is excreting, but if it's too much, then it's the cause of burning. Very easy. For instance, when we have given the wrong dravya, when you have given the wrong medication, or the person has taken it wrongly. Classic is Google. If we know that Google is a resin, and the resin is very much Tikshna, because it's there to clean, to purify, to take extra stuff off. If this is done in excess, you break the lining of the intestine, you break the lining of the stomach. So you end up with an acute gastritis if you have been taking gugulu, not after food with hot water, but before food with cold water. That would be just against any rule, and it would just break the manda, the stabilizing effect in your system, and scratch too much. I normally use this explanation also, when you brush your teeth like mad and then you just break the surface. Or if you want to polish something like this beautiful furniture and you take something to scrub in order to make it shine. No, you don't make it shine. You break the surface, right? So many people actually do that when they have a cough. There's so much misconception about cough and mucus. So mucus, as we learned, belongs to the family of Snigdha. And it is also manda. Mucus in our lung is important. If we get, for instance, the hay fever, mostly not the mucus is the problem. Yeah, inflammation is the problem. Tikshna is the problem. So, but the people think, oh, we have to get rid of the mucus. No, we actually have to have more mucus. It has to be more manda. It has to be more protected. So in order that all the pollen can't connect to your mucus tissue, because they can only connect if your mucus tissue is ruksha, if your mucus tissue is dry. Understand? So what people do is then they think, oh, natural healing is very good. I would just take a tea made of thyme. Thyme is an expectorant. It means it is ruksha. It means it is tikshna. It is something that helps you to get the mucus out of your body. But that's again the same thing as if you would polish my precious trunk with something that scrapes it up. So the mucus tissue will break, it will scratch, the people experience a very, very painful inflammation of their breathing tube, yeah, of their pranavaha shrotas. And then they come to us and we just say, no, 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 no. Take ghee and take sugar and you will be fine in 2 days. And put the ghee in the nose and the sugar you drink as a juice. So you build a lot of mucus that seals your system so that the pollen cannot enter there and that the healing process will be promoted. I love the springtime because it's always the same. Of course, we have some more interesting information then about what to eat and what to not to eat. For instance, if it's like now hay fever season, which is starting basically in December already and going into May, then all the nuts should be eradicated from the diet, or apples and carrots because they're all in cross allergies, kiwis, and then all oranges and clementine and stuff like that has to be eradicated. Soy and of course all the kitchen herbs. Yeah, so that will support it and do that diet for 2-3 weeks and you're going to be fine. Yeah, but don't take anything that's an expectorant, please. And there's also orange oil available to put in the nose, which is completely hideous because it's very, very toxic. So the next two, before we end the session for today, will be Sandra and Drava. So Sandra means compact and stable, and Drava is liquid. So when you look at a beautiful pudding, my lovely tenant, he made some kind of a jelly. If you heat up the jelly, it becomes Drava. If you put it in the fridge, it becomes Sandra. So Sandra is a nice stability, and again, it belongs to the Mahabhuta of earth. Of course, it increases kapha, it is benevolent, and it gives you a nice feeling. So it's a very difficult to grasp in many ways, but it is hardly coming single as your Dravya Guna. So don't worry. It is just part of the thinking that if something is too liquid, you can stabilize it. Yeah. And in order to just modify the flow. For instance, if you have liquid diarrhea, you want to have it a bit more solid. If there's profuse bleeding, you're slowly slowing it down. Okay. So if Sandra is too much dominant in your diet or in your herbal application, then it blocks the shotas and it increases the body mass. With the draba, which clearly belongs to jala, to water, it's increasing kapha, it's decreasing vata. It is then also moisturizing. It makes something more liquid that has been just sitting there and being consistent. It's draining, so it takes out extra fluid from the body that has been, for instance, you have been traveling. My thing is always when I go to the tropics, I just blow up like a balloon. I become very Sandra. And the minute I touch the cold climate, I become very Drava, going out from all the accretion. So it Drava helps with edema and congestion. So also, when you hit yourself and suddenly part of your body swell up, something like that. But of course, Drava will increase diarrhea. It will increase bleeding. It will increase just like not coming out. Then you need something that is a bit more Sandra to slowly just keep it in place. So we still have some more of the lovely gunas to learn, but I think slowly also getting into the Sanskrit words, they become more and more familiar. It's for me, like when I start teaching a new class and everybody thinks I must remember their names, and I truly don't. And I try to make little monkey bridges then for my brain to, this is a person, her name starts with a B, so she's either a Birgit, Brigitte, a Barbara, or then I'm totally lost. And sometimes I use the wrong one because I don't really see the difference. And for you, it is the same. What is this now? Prithvi, Jala, Tejas, they all sound the same. But then the more we are asking the student to say their name, the more we are asking the Sanskrit to pop up. And then we put that in a context, the more you have the chance by your own monkey bridge, by your own memory bridge to relate to this, to put this in your little memory box. That's why in the beginning now, I will use the Sanskrit and the English term, or Anastasia will use the Russian term. But just because we also teaching now in several languages, I come from a German, English, Hindi, Sanskrit speaking background now. And then you have your Russian, English, or Russian, German, Sanskrit, English background. And so we have to find a language where we easily communicate with too many misunderstandings. And then if we travel to another country, ooh, this is excellent. We can easily then communicate because we know the original words. We easily can access different types of books. I was just, when I'm preparing that, and I always choose different sources, I have some sources that come across just like very easy here, Ayurveda, Materia Medica, and it's great. Most of it is in Sanskrit. It comes as a German book, and most of it is just Sanskrit. And sometimes I'm there like, what? Then we have this one, which is by my professor, Gupta ji, and his very old great student and one of my teachers on Dravya Guna, which I really, really adore. And that's why this is so big. This is Emma Stapelfeld. And I'm using this now as a source because I'm their student. So I'm giving you this from this lineage, and that's why I also use the book. So is it as pure as it can get to stay in the lineage? But still, there is, for me, it's quite complicated because everything then is for some reason written only in German, while later in the book, they only refer to the Sanskrit terms. So The Sanskrit terms are under the 20 guna names in German written in brackets, but all the further explanations are totally in German. And when I have this one from Hans Riener, it's also one of my friends and colleagues. It's a huge book, so I will use it then later for some of the plants, because he's trying to bridge it so that you can see why these, to understand the gunas can be important when you want to use dravya, when you want to use a herb in the healing process, or when you want to use a herbal preparation. It makes it very, very clear how to use it, when to use it, and what dosage to use it. It just suddenly understanding the prescription. Also, if you got a prescription, you can understand what was the intention of your Vaidya, of your Ayurvedic doctor, to give you this at this time of the day in this preparation. You don't look at the name anymore, or that's terminale cebula. And so that's because of constipation, because that's what you look up on Wikipedia. And no, because if it's haritaki and it is roasted in a pan and then cooked in water in the morning, it has a very, very different effect on you as if you just prepared with honey and you take it after food. Okay, so it will just help you to explain the whole kingdom of plants, the whole kingdom of Ayurvedic applications once you learn the 20 gunas. And again, it's like driving the car. If you get into that and you know how to use the clutch, you don't know it from the beginning, but after some time you know it, and then you're rolling. Okay. I'm very happy to share all this with you, because it is just, it's a wonderful Leela. It's a wonderful play. So where you're now coming to know the characters that will be staying on the stage and perform the play of life. Okay. I love you very much. Have a great day.